Perfect. So happy Sunday, guys. I hope you have had a lovely day so far. I am very ready to get zen with you all. Now, before we all head off to bed, let's face it, I think we're done in for the day by the sounds of it. I've had a couple of requests in terms of areas that we want to get stretched out today. So we'll make sure to focus on those as well as our general stretching as well. Now, I've popped the playlist link in the chat. If you are going to use the playlist, or if you're catching up on demand and would like to use the playlist, just press play from the beginning for me now. And make sure you're not on shuffle so that the playlist goes through in the correct order. All you need for today's class is a cushion, and also make sure you've got some water nearby in case you need it at any point. We are going to start standing today, which is a little bit different to normal, but we're just going to get through a few standing stretches before we lower down to some really deep and yin stretching today. So we're going to be holding our stretches for quite prolonged periods. So coming to the floor, we're going to stand those legs nice and wide for me. We want to take them way beyond hip distance apart. Now the toes shouldn't face forwards. They should face a little bit, oh, she says falling over, out to the side for me. So we want them to point to about 11 and 1 on the clock. All we're going to do is fold at those hips and allow the upper body to be really nice and heavy. So when you're ready, just a light bend in the knees as we fold forwards, the head becomes heavy and we come into our forward bend. Now, don't worry if you're not at the floor. We're all going to be at different places in this. All we're going to do is sway from right back to the left. And at your own pace, we're just going to sway from side to side. Close down those eyes if you can. Well done. And just starting to tune into that breathing as well. Nice and slow, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to bring that weight all over to the right hand side. Staying in our fold, we're just going to focus purely on stretching through this right hand side now. Now the hands can either be on the shin, further down on the heel, or perhaps on the floor, one hand on the foot potentially, wherever you need them. But keep that head lowered and really focus on hinging at that hip. Breathing in and sighing away. Remember today, the beauty of doing this class in your own home is that you're the only person that can hear yourself. So feel free to use those breaths to really sigh the week away. And in 3, 2, and 1, we're going to walk those hands over to the left-hand side, and we're going for exactly the same on the left leg. Well done. Just tuning out, allowing the head to be heavy, sinking through, and staying here. Deep breath in and a breath out as well. Deep breath in. Through the nose, out through the mouth. Well done. Great work. Nice, Kaylee. Staying here. With your next exhale, just seeing if you can come a little bit deeper maybe. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, coming back to the center for me and just lowering a little bit further into that hamstring stretch. Upper body heavy. Well done. And we're slowly going to bring the bum down to the floor, bending through the hips and coming into our yogi squat. So the elbows come out to the sides and we just use them to push the knees back as we sway from side to side. That's it. Perfect. Well done, Gemma. Now, option here to swing sideways a little bit with a rotation as well, if you like, wherever feels right for you. Maybe that is side to side, maybe that is forwards a little bit and backwards a little bit. Just starting to work into these hips. Try and keep that chest open and upright as well. Well done. Nice, good work, guys. And when you're ready, we're just gonna bring ourselves back up again into that forward fold. Hanging here, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna turn to the right-hand side. So we're just gonna shuffle the weight around to the right, rotate the feet so the right foot is forward and the left foot is behind. Now we're gonna add a bend to the front knee, but we're gonna keep the left foot straight as we come up into our low lunge. Now, by keeping that heel to the floor on the left-hand side as much as we can, we're gonna feel a nice deep stretch through the calf. In order to keep that heel flat to the floor, you might need to loosen the bend in the front leg slightly. That's absolutely fine. As we stay in the stretch for a little while, you might be able to bend a little further into it. So we should feel a really nice stretch all the way down the back of that calf. Well done. And just keeping our breathing really nice and slow and steady. If you want to close those eyes down, please do. This is your time. And in 3, 2, and 1, we're going to straighten that front leg entirely. And we're going to go for a forward fold over that front leg. So keeping the back leg where it is, we just fold over that front leg. And we should feel a really nice deep stretch down the back of that hamstring. Now the hands might be resting on the shin, on the ankle, on the floor, wherever they are. Just allow the upper body, once again, to be heavy. Let the head sink down and feel that stretch through the hamstring. Well done. Nice, guys. Perfect. Great work. Well done. Remember, if you need to come up out of a stretch at any point, that is absolutely fine. Just reset yourself as you need. And when we're ready, we're just going to walk those hands around the front, twisting the feet back to the front, and then we're going to go over to the left-hand side this time, twisting the feet so the left and right foot are pointing forwards, but the left foot is in front. We're going to rise up and come into a bend in the left knee as we stretch down the back of that right leg once more, stretching into the calf with the heel lowered to the floor. Keeping that chest open and upright again for me. Remember, if you need to hold on to something, that is absolutely fine. Nice deep breath in and out. And with the exhale, seeing if perhaps you can bend slightly further into that calf stretch. Well done. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, straightening that front leg again. We're going to hinge over and come into our stretch on that left leg now, through the hamstring, maybe a little bit through that calf as well, depending on where your tension is. Just hinging over here and allowing the body once again to be heavy. Close the eyes down, tune out. Well done. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walking those hands back to the center again, twisting the feet forwards. We're going to come back down into that yogi squat for me, swaying side to side. Well done. Careful, that head might feel a little bit heavy, so just gradually let it reacclimatize. Great work, guys. Now we're going to grab those cushions, slide them in underneath the bum, and come down to a cross-legged position. I'm just going to come and tilt the camera a little bit so that now we're down here, you can see. Okay. Perfect. So on those cushions, coming into cross-legged, try and cross your legs the opposite way to the way that you normally would. So if it feels like this is how I normally would, switch them the other way over. That's just going to help stretch out the side of the body that's got a little bit of extra tightness from how you normally sit here. Perfect. We're going to bring those hands onto the knees, closing those eyes down. We're just going to work through some reverse shoulder rolls. So we're going to bring the shoulders all the way up around the front, up to the ears, and then take them all the way back and down, bringing that chest forward, literally sticking the chest out, and then repeating. We're going to work through 3 circles backwards at your own pace. Well done. Nice, nice, Kaylee. And one more, all the way up and back. Well done. And when you reach the bottom on this one, we're going to reverse it. So you're going to come up, back to the ears and round to the front, working again through 3 reps at your own pace. Well done. And last one for me. Nice. When you reach the middle again, just give those shoulders a little bit of a shake off. Take the right hand down to the floor. The left hand's going to come up and over, and we're going to work into a little bit of a side stretch here. Now, you can play with where your right arm is a little bit. You might want to bend it more at the elbow. Alternatively, you might want to push a little bit more with that left hand at the top. Just find a comfortable position for you, which stretches the correct area that you need it to stretch down that left-hand side. If you want it to stretch a little bit higher, then you're going to want to tilt over more with that top arm. If you want to stretch it a little bit lower, you're going to want to bring a bend into that elbow a little bit more. Well done. Breathing in, breathing out. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up and over. Working into that side stretch again. Remember, more of a bend in the elbow for the lower end, or more of a tilt at the top for the upper end, whichever you need. Nice work, guys. Now, as I mentioned, a lot of today's stretching is going to be very deep. We're going to work into the hip area, the hamstring area especially. If at any point you need to come out of one of these stretches we're going to go into now, then please do give yourself a little bit of a reset and then come back in. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back up to the center. Take those pillows out from underneath the glutes for me. Stay cross-legged for now. Just grab yourself a little bit of a sip of water before we go into the next few stretches. When you're ready, we're going to take these legs out to the sides into a straddle position. Now, I don't mind how wide you are at all. I'd rather you were comfortable than you were overstretching. So if it's narrow, that's cool. And if it's wider, that's absolutely fine. You will also find that you probably change your stance slightly as we go through the different stretches that we're going to do. First off, all I want you to do is pop your hands into your hips. So you should feel your pelvis there. Now we're going to tilt the chest forwards to the floor. And what I want you to feel is like you're tilting your pelvis with your thumbs at the back, like you're pushing it down. Now that's going to help you tune in to making sure it's a hinge at the hips rather than a hunch at the shoulders. Once you reach a point where you can't tilt any further, take the hands out in front for me and just lower into that forward fold in that position. Perfect. Well done. Try not to allow the shoulders to hunch forwards. Try and keep them back and down. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Now we're going to be working through a series of stretches in this straddle position. It's really effective at helping to keep nice and deep as we go. If at any point you need to shake it off, don't worry. Staying here. In 3, 2, and 1. We're going to walk those hands over to the right leg, taking a hold of the shin or the ankle. You're just going to lower now into that right leg specifically. Once you're here, I just want you to focus on your toes. Give them a little bit of a wiggle for me, and then tune into your level of ankle flexion. So is your foot pointed right now, or is it flexed? What I want you to do is try and bring those toes back towards the forehead as much as you can, and that's going to increase the stretch down the back of that hamstring for you. If you need to release the stretch at any point and reset, just flex the toes away from you and then bring them back. Staying here, make sure we keep that chest nice and proud. Don't let the shoulders hunch. Nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Well done, guys. Nice. Use that hand if you wish to help you flex the toes. Just make sure that the stretch is comfortable for you. And in 5, 4, in 3, in 2, and 1. Walking those hands from the right-hand side over to the left, staying as low as you can for me. We're going to repeat exactly the same on this side. So coming into the fold, focus on those toes again. How much can you flex them back towards that head to increase the stretch through the bottom of that hamstring? Well done. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Perfect. Staying there, I'm just going to come check that we're all okay. Fab. Well done, guys. Nice. If at any point you need to shake it off, that is absolutely fine. Remember, all of these levels of stretching are completely personal to yourself. We don't want to feel like we're pushing anywhere beyond an 8 out of 10. If you feel like you are, then give it a shake off and reset for me. With your next exhale, just see if you can either lower the chest a little further or point the toes a little bit further back towards you. And in 3, 2, and 1, walking those hands back to center for me. In our fold, I want you to take one hand out to the left, one hand out to the right, and we're just going to come through into lowering that chest to the floor. If you need the hands to be on the floor rather than on the feet, that's totally fine. Just take them a bit wider rather than narrower for me, and that's going to have exactly the same effect. And you should feel a nice deep stretch now, also through the inside of those thighs as well. Remember, it doesn't matter how wide those legs are. If they're narrower, you're still going to feel that stretch. It's wherever is comfortable for you. If the hands are on the floor, just with every exhale, see if you can slide them a little bit further wide as you increase the stretch. Well done. And in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rising back to the center. Perfect. Well done, guys. Sorry, my headphones have just decided to call it quits, which is really helpful, but we'll carry on because you can hear me all good. All good? Perfect. We're going to swing those legs around to the side and come into our position with our legs out in front now. What I want you to do is just grab that cushion for me and pop it on top of the legs. Now, this is going to feel a little bit strange to start with, but don't worry, I'll explain as we go. We're going to come into our regular forward fold, but what the cushion's going to do is allow us to soften our landing and just gradually increase rather than all of a sudden go from 0 to 100. So with a slight bend in the knee, all I want you to do is fold gradually over your cushion, arms coming out in front of you. Perhaps you have them on your cushion instead, but what I want your focus to be is on tilting those toes back towards the forehead. So by tilting the toes back towards the forehead, we've got this nice little break in the middle with the cushion that allows us to kind of soften the stretch. Now you can fold your cushion up if you need a bit more support from it, or if you feel ready to let the cushion go at any point and take the stretch deeper,
then feel free to remove it out and flow in a little bit deeper. I will be staying with my cushion today because I am very, very tight. Perfect. Well done, guys. Breathing in and out. Well done. Nice, Kaylee. Well done, Gemma. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just staying here. Last opportunity now to remove that cushion if you want to take the stretch deeper. For those of you keeping the cushion, focus on maybe tilting those toes a little bit more towards the forehead. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rising up out of the stretch, pop that cushion back behind for me. We're going to come forwards now into right leg forward, left leg back in a half kneeling position, like so. When we come up to the kneeling position, we're going to take the left hand over to the right knee on the outside. We're then going to swing the right arm out to the side and to the back, coming into a nice back rotation to help stretch out the lower and middle spine area. So you should have the left hand, on the outside of the right knee, twisting over the right leg and right arm to the back. Perfect. Ooh, she says, falling over again. My stability is not there today. We are then going to very carefully lower the right hand down, stabilize yourself and bring that left foot up into the hand and gradually move yourself into that quad stretch. If you need to use a little lever here, feel free to wrap a band around the foot and bring it towards you if you need. Once you reach this position, I want you to focus on bending through the front leg to increase the level of the stretch. So as you bend through the right leg more, you're going to increase the level of stretch through the front of that left quad. Well done, amazing. Great work, guys. Feel free, of course, to slide a cushion under that knee if you need, if you're on uncomfortable flooring at all. I think I've just got used to the hard floor now. Well done, guys. Holding here. And in 5, in 4, in 3, in 2, and 1. We're going to shuffle ourselves back. We're going to straighten the right leg out. And at the same time, just take the left leg back a little bit for me. We're going to straighten the right leg out and we're just going to come into a fold over that right leg for me. So just back into that hamstring one more time. Breathing in and breathing out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And with every exhale, just seeing if you can lower a little bit further into the stretch. And in 5, in 4, in 3, in 2, and 1. Just bring that right leg around to the back for me and bring that left leg forwards into our half kneel on the opposite side. Perfect. Slide your cushion under the right knee if you feel like you're going to need one. We're going to take the right hand over to the outside of the left knee. Left arm comes around to the back as we turn into our rotation on this side. Hopefully that's helping with those back niggles just a little bit. And when you're ready, we're going to drop the left arm, bring the right foot up towards the hand and come into our quad stretch on the other side. Well done. Again, our focus is on just gradually increasing that bend through the left knee to help push that quad stretch up through the leg a little bit further each time. Well done. Great work, guys. Keep breathing. Holding here. And in 5, in 4, in 3, in 2, and 1. Lowering the right foot back to the floor I want you to bring your left foot over to the right-hand side of the mat. The left knee comes down to the left-hand side of the mat as the right foot stays behind you, and we come into our pigeon. Now, you can either be up on your hands, or you can start folding this forwards. If you're folding forwards, come down onto the forearms first, or if you'd like, grab your cushion, slide it under, and come down to a resting position on the side of the head, if you wish. Now, whilst we're in this pigeon position, I really want your focus to be on letting go any areas of tension you can feel throughout the body. So maybe that's in the jaw, maybe that's in the shoulders, maybe that's in the forehead. Wherever it is, with your next exhale, just try and release it away. Allowing the body to sink more deeply into that hip. Well done. Keep breathing. We're going to stay here in this pigeon stretch for a minute. So I'm going to let you tune in to your own stretch, and I'll come back and tell you when it's time to raise out. Well done, guys. Keep it going. Nice, Gemma. If you're ready, lower it down another level. Perhaps bring that head to the floor. Or if you're up on the hands, lower it down to the forearms for our last 15 seconds. Keep that breathing going. Release any of that final tension. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back up onto the hands for me. We're just going to step the left leg back to meet the right. So we come into our high plank position. From there, we're just going to lower the knees to the floor, untuck the toes, lower the chest down, and then we're going to push up into our upward dog, stretching through the core and the back, and adding in some rotations, looking over the left shoulder, looking over the right shoulder as you need. You may find that one side needs it more than the other. Feel free to stay there. Well done. Holding, holding, holding. And in 3, 2, and 1. You're going to come back up. We're just going to bring that right leg forwards now. So the right foot comes over to the left-hand side of the mat. The right knee is then going to collapse down to the right-hand side of the mat. Left leg stays behind us as we move into our pigeon on the opposite side. From here, lowering down either onto the forearms, staying up on the hands if you wish, or sliding your cushion in and allowing yourself to fully fold over. Once again, our focus here is going to be to release all tension from the body. You might perhaps feel whilst you're in the pigeon that there's some tightness in that right hip. Try and breathe through it, and we're going to stay here for another minute together. Really nice, guys. Well done. Close those eyes down if you haven't already. Breathing in and out. Great work, guys. Another 30 seconds. If you're ready to take it to the next level, we've got 15 seconds left. So either coming down to those forearms or perhaps lowering the head down for this final few seconds in the stretch. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, And one, gradually coming back up onto those hands, tucking the left toe, stepping the right foot back to meet the left into our high plank, lowering the knees, untucking the toes, chest to floor, and pushing up into that upward dog once more. Adding in those rotations if you wish. And this time, if you'd like a little bit more of a stretch through the front of the hip rather than through the core, just shuffle the legs a little bit wider, and that's going to push the stretch through to the hips rather than the core. Wherever you need is completely fine, whichever version you like today. Great work. And we're going to bring those feet together, take the knees out wide, and sit back into our child's pose. Well done. Now the aim of the child's pose is to sink the bum as far back to the heels as you can, whilst also crawling those fingers forwards as far as you can to help stretch through that pesky back where we might be feeling, or I know some of us are feeling, quite a lot of tension. Amazing. Well done, team. Keep it going. Fab. And whilst we're holding here in this child's pose, I just want you to think about why you joined today's class. Perhaps it was because you wanted to take some time out to reset yourself before the week ahead. Perhaps it was because your body was aching and you wanted some guidance for your stretching practice, or perhaps some adherence for your stretching practice. Whatever the reason was for joining today's class, as we move into the final section of today's stretching, I just want you to remember that reason and bring everything we do back to that why. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up, we're just going to swivel onto those bums. Bring your cushion so it's at the top of the mat for me. Take this opportunity to just have a little sip of water if you need. And we're going to lower down to our lying position. Our feet are going to stay flat to the floor and our knees bent as we lie down onto the back. Now, to begin with, all we're going to do is sway the knees from left to right to stretch out the back a little bit more. So we're going to tip them over to the left and then over all the way to the right, wherever you need to take them. Perhaps you want to keep them on the left-hand side for a little longer, or maybe you want to stay in one of these rotations. That's absolutely fine. But we're just going to close the eyes down now, breathing through these rotations. And our final few stretches. And when you're ready, coming back to center, bringing the base of the feet together, we're just going to allow the knees to sink out to the side and allow gravity to just gradually bring the knees down to the floor and stretch through the groin. Now, if you'd like to add a little pressure manually, then feel free to just take both hands onto the inner thigh and just add a little bit of a push, but not too much. Try and avoid the knee area as well. We really want that to be focused on the thigh. Well done. All the way through these floor stretches, we just want to focus on breathing the week away. Great work, guys. Bringing the knees back together, bring the hands down to the side, and we're just going to do a really quick counter stretch. We're not going to hold it for long. All we're going to do is lift the hips up to the ceiling, bring the shoulders underneath the body, and push away from us as we counter stretch all of the back stretching that we've been doing. And in 3, 2, 1, lower it back down to the floor for me. Pop both the legs flat to the floor now. We're going to take the right arm out to the right hand side. The left hand is going to take the outside of the right knee as we turn our gaze towards the right hand side, and then we bring that right leg over to the left, stretching through that back. Now we're going to be staying in our spinal twists for a longer period than usual today. I'm just going to come check that we're all okay because we can get a little bit twisted in this one. Perfect. Perfect. Well done, guys. Now staying here, really close those eyes down. Focus on the breathing for me. It can be difficult to breathe in this position because one side of our lungs is a little bit squished by the rotation and the other side is open. So focus on breathing into that open space. It should be across the right-hand side of your chest. Just focus on the air coming in and out of just that side. Well done. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming back to center. You're going to take the left hand out to the side. The right hand takes the outside of the left knee. The gaze goes to the left as we bring the left knee over to the right hand side, stretching through the other side of our spine. Well done. Again, close those eyes down. Remind yourself that you are the only person that can hear your breathing, and allow yourself to sigh away. Nice, guys. Holding here. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming back to center. The left foot stays bent. The right leg is going to come up and onto the left leg. Leaning through our gap, we're either going to take a hold of the back of the right thigh, the left thigh, sorry, or the left shin, and come into our glute stretch. Stretching through that hip. As always, option to add the right hand, a little bit of a push on that right knee to increase the stretch. Or if this is enough for you, just staying there and using every exhale to try and pull that knee a little bit closer to the chest. Nice deep breaths in and out as you go. Well done. Nice, guys. And in 5, in 4, in 3, 2, and 1. Left leg lowers to the floor, right leg crosses over and goes flat to the floor with the foot. The left leg comes up and over. And we're going through the gap again, either to the right hand side of the back of the hamstring or onto that shin as we come into the same stretch on the opposite side now. Lose that tension from that left hip as you sigh it away. Well done. And just really focusing with every exhale on whether you can increase the level of that stretch a little bit further potentially. Well done, guys. And in 5, in 4, in 3, 2, and 1. Lowering the right foot to the floor. The left leg going flat this time. The right leg going flat as well. We're going to interlace the fingers together. Take the hands up over the head. And what we want to do is stretch them as far away as we can at the same time as pointing the toes and stretching the legs as far away as we can. We're going to tense every single little bit of the body. Tense every single muscle and hold, 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 hold for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, 1, and sink back into the mat for me. Sinking in, lowering the hands down by the side and keeping the eyes closed. Just going to take a nice deep breath in and out. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Bringing one hand to the belly, the other hand to the chest. Continuing with our nice deep breathing. Closing the eyes down completely, fully for me. Well done. We're going to stay here in our resting position, focusing on nothing but ourselves for the final few moments of today's class. I want you to tune in to your breathing, let your thoughts go, and I will come back in a moment to tell you when it's time to wake back up again. Just tune out for now. Now, if you're ready to end today's class, then please join me in the next few movements. If you'd like to stay here a little bit longer, then feel free to do so. Just tune out and relax into the rest of your own session. For those of you ready to finish, just start giving me a bit of a wiggle in those toes and fingers. Start to wake them up. Want to keep the eyes closed as we move through this stretching. Now we're going to bring those knees up so the feet are flat to the floor. And gradually we're going to turn over to one side, whichever is comfortable for you, into our fetal position. Sliding the hands under the head or using our cushion to bear the weight. Take a deep breath here and then bring yourself with your eyes closed still. Use your hands to come up to a cross-legged position. Crossing the legs the opposite way to you usually would. Keeping the eyes closed. Bring the hands onto the knees for me. We're going to bring the chin down to the chest. And we're just going to turn the head. So we're going from the chin over to the right. All the way back down and round, over to look at the left, but with those eyes closed. Again to the right. Again to the left. One more time each way for me. Over to the right. Over to the left. Back to center. And bringing the shoulders up to the ears. Rolling the shoulders down and back. Bring those hands to cover the eyes for me. And gradually, if you're ready, blink the eyes open and slowly remove the hands from in front of the eyes to gradually let the light back in. Well done, guys. I'm going to come on over. How are we doing? Are we feeling nice and zen? Are we ready for bed? I feel like I'm ready for bed now. Well done. Well done for joining me on your Sunday evening. Again, it's lovely to see you. Those of you catching up on demand as well, let me know how you got on with today's stretch class. I know there's quite a few of you catching up a little bit later. Those of you who join me live, I'll stay on the line now. If you've got any questions you want to ask, then I'll be here to answer them for you. Now, the only last thing to let you know is that the June timetable is now live. So if you'd like to get booked in for any classes during June, the timetable is now live. Now, it's very similar to what we've been working already. Those of you who join our Strength for Runners classes, you'll notice that these have been pushed back just by 15 minutes every Tuesday and Thursday. So they now begin at 6:15. This is just as we the world opens up a little bit. I know people are back in the office, and hopefully it makes the live version slightly more accessible for people as well. Obviously, the on-demand option will still stay there there and be there for you. When it comes to stretching, that's staying at 6 p.m. where it is on a Sunday. There is just 1 week next month, Sunday the 20th, where we won't be having a stretching class. But other than that, we'll be here every week. I will ping around the recording now to everyone, and have a lovely rest of your Sunday evening. Make sure to stay well hydrated and get a really good night's sleep. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.